Talk at me, Brian.
I love the Justice League.
That is one thing about Brian you gotta know.
One thing you gotta know about me, I love the Justice League.
Loves that Justice League.
I
That
love
good Justice League.
I love all that good Justice League.
All right, tell me about the Justice League.
So here's my thing about the Justice League, is that have I mentioned that I love the Justice League?
Hey, Karen, do you know if Brian loves the Justice League?
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
So there's been like a challenge thing going around online recently. I've seen a lot of them on Instagram, where you have to make a 7-member Justice League lineup, where you're only allowed to use one of the original 7.
Okay.
And by the original 7, I mean like the original. So Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan,
Hawk
Barry
Girl.
Allen, no, Aquaman and John.
Hot girl.
But here's my other thing. Speaking of Hawk Girl, I wanted to take that a step further and make an original Justice League lineup without any of the founding members at all.
Okay, so just 7 hot girls then.
7 Hawk Girls, but
7 hot
that
girls.
that was my initial plan, was 7 Hawk Girls.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I will say, since I grew up with the animated Justice League show on Cartoon Network, didn't really seem fair because those are my founding members.
Right.
So I'm taking Hawk Girl, Wally West, and Jon Stewart off the board too.
Okay.
Because those are my founders.
What about Hawkman?
I could use Hawkman.
Man-Bat?
I could use really any kind of winged man.
Yeah. I don't know why you'd put Man-Bat in the Justice League.
I won't use a single one of them, but you could make an entire league with only winged men.
Okay, so now I know your league.
It's the 7 characters that don't have wings in DC.
If you didn't know, DC...
There
are only 7 characters in DC lore that don't have wings.
It's true. It's insane that no one's brought it up before, to be honest. So, not speaking of wings, despite appearances.
Right.
The title for my Justice League, let's say animated movie, could also be a comic book run.
Yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me.
It's Justice League Ascension.
Oh,
I didn't know we were going to be talking about wings, all right?
It's because they fly, but they don't have wings, but they still fly,
We're
though.
moving on. It's Justice League Ascension.
Okay.
Okay. So, here's my premise. Basically, the original 7 members of the League have to suddenly go off on some massive...
Dead. They died. Okay.
Massive
cool,
death,
gotcha.
collective death
Gotcha.
that all of them have to
They
go
died,
off
I
on.
gotcha.
Massive trip to
That's
hell.
what I'm hearing they died.
And they canonically go to hell because they're all bad people.
Right. So
But
they all died.
No, they all have to go off on some massive cosmic adventure on the other side of the multiverse. So while they're gone, they have to entrust the protection of Earth to a new original lineup of heroes.
Gotcha. 7 hot girls.
7 hot girls, but all of them with wings. But each individual member of our new lineup was actually recommended by a different original leaguer. And I want you to kind of be thinking about this.
Was there an application process?
There was a deep, lengthy application. No, I think actually these guys were pulled by the league. They didn't apply. They were like, the league went, you
What
have to
happens if you
protect
did
the Earth
apply?
while we're gone. If you did apply, you would get a really nice email that would start out, and it would be one of those emails where like it's phrased nicely, but you can tell from like the first sentence that you didn't get it.
Right.
Yeah, it's rough. Okay, here's my lineup. The leader, Batgirl.
Okay.
Barbara Gordon, genius level
choice.
strategist,
Good choice.
genius hacker, an exceptional martial artist, and acrobat, utilizes a massive arsenal of gadgets and cutting-edge tech, and is probably, I'd say maybe the most resilient character in the DC universe.
Yeah, she's been through a lot.
And this Barbara has already had her Killing Joke experience.
Yep.
She has been Oracle, and now has a spinal implant that allows her the use of her legs. That's how it works right now.
But no wing implant, though.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm not
get
leaving
there.
the door closed to that.
Gotcha.
I'm just kind of like slamming it shut
Okay.
and like breaking the
knob
off.
the knob off. Gotcha.
But
Okay.
you know, maybe it'll happen someday.
Yeah.
This Barbara has also never been in the Justice League in a leadership role, only as an information coordination resource.
Right.
She does not believe she's ready to take this role on, but she will because she has to. Then we've got the Sorcerer, Dr. Fate.
Okay. Pierce Brosnan himself.
The man Pierce Brosnan himself. For a Lord of Order, Dr. Fate is pretty terrible at following them. Within the Helmet of Fate resides the spirit of Naboo, the mind and power of Dr. Fate. Whoever puts on the helmet becomes a vessel of Naboo, essentially a prisoner within their own body, which people don't really talk about that much.
Right.
But Dr. Fate takes bodies hostage.
Yep.
That's kind of his thing. So Fate is a deeply morally ambiguous character who will constantly butt heads with Batgirl. And his kind of overlying thing is that he believes himself above the petty concerns of humanity and does not recognize Barbara's authority over him at all. Then we've got the powerhouse, Supergirl. Kara Zor-El is Clark Kent's younger cousin and Batgirl's best friend. Kara believes wholeheartedly that there is no better candidate for leadership of the League than Batgirl. Her full-throated defense of her friend to the other team members, however, can sometimes backfire and cause bigger problems.
Yeah.
She'll never stop believing in herself and her friends, which can make her overzealous and pig-headed at times. Then we've got the future. Not like from the future,
right.
but like the future of this universe.
Right. Yeah.
Static.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah.
So Virgil Hawkins is a teenage hero out of Dakota City with the ability to generate and manipulate electricity. A first-time Leaguer, he's big into hero worship and will grow to see Batgirl as a big sister figure. He has the potential to become the greatest hero of all time, but he doesn't know that yet. He doesn't think he's worthy of being in the League at all. He's got something to prove, and it's going to get him in trouble.
I see a common theme among some of these characters.
Perhaps you do. They're all wingless.
Oh, that is what I was thinking of, actually.
So then we've got the Heart, Shazam. Shazam is a literal child.
Yes.
Unlike Static, Billy Batson is nothing but excited to get to hang out in the best clubhouse on Earth. He's also surprisingly wise for his age. And he's incredibly quick to trust people and give them the benefit of the doubt, which seems at first like naivete, but if there were more people like Billy out there, the world might be a better place. Then we've got the Willpower, Green Lantern. You want to guess which lantern I used?
Ooh, that's a fun.
Can't be Hal or John.
Is it Guy Gardner?
Get that bowl cut shit out of here. It's Jessica Cruz. A woman in her mid-20s who suffered a deeply traumatic event in the past that has haunted her ever since. She's gone through years of therapy, soul-searching, and personal growth to reach the point where she feels ownership of the ring, and now nothing's going to stand in her way. Jessica knows what it looks like when the water is over someone's head. After everything she's been through, she won't let anyone drown.
Yeah.
So this is a Jessica who has had her character growth, has moved past this trauma, and is now ready to kind of begin to step into a more mentorship role. And then we've got one that I'm very interested to see your opinion about. The reformed Killer Croc.
What?
Yeah.
What gave you this idea?
All right, let's get into this.
Okay.
So Waylon Jones has spent his entire life being branded a monster because of the way he looks. For years, he embraced that title, becoming an inhuman creature, leaving a trail of death and destruction in his wake and hiding his diseased form deep within the sewers of Gotham. All he really wants is to be seen as a human being. And now Batman has decided to give him a chance. Croc's going to try to be better, to be something more, but nobody in their right mind would ever believe him.
What does the rest of the League think of Mr. Croc?
An excellent question.
Waylon Croc.
Waylon Crocky Jones. So this is actually kind of interesting because in the comics, sort of recently, Croc has kept on showing this very human side of him, especially when he's dealing with kids, where he's got this kind of, he more and more feels like this guy who's just has this horrible condition that has forced him to be this underdweller and under the city. No one's gonna hire a guy who looks like that to do anything.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting to see this guy as a crook and like a kind of muscle character who is trying to be a person again.
Right.
And let's just not have him have been a cannibal.
Yeah.
He knows he's being given a once-in-a-lifetime chance, but he hates the idea of being a charity case almost as much as he hates the way the rest of the League looks at him.
Okay.
Except for Billy, who's the first one to befriend him, and Supergirl comes around.
That's kind of fun.
Second.
I like the idea that they hang out at the Justice League, the swimming pool together.
yeah.
That'd be really nice.
If this run or this movie, whichever, has one impact on the DC universe at large, I want it to be that Billy Batson and Killer Croc are best buds.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
That's
I like
my
that
one
a
thing. Okay, so then I want to talk about the villains and kind of what's going on here. So our villains are a new legion, sort of.
Okay.
We've got the big bad, the Brains. It's Brainiac. The Brains are brain. Yeah, I figured you would have kind of shot myself in the foot there on that one, I would say.
You could have tried, but
so
you could have tried a little harder, but that's all right. Yeah.
So Brainiac has determined that the current hero landscape on Earth presents the highest probability of success in his mission to digitize all of the knowledge on the planet and then destroy it. He has falsely promised a selection of villains domination over the Earth, forming a new Legion of Doom with him in control. Okay. Pretty standard Justice League stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Brainiac represents a complete and this is why I'm interested in Brainiac. He represents a complete dismissal of Batgirl's abilities. He doesn't view her as a threat, and his ability to interface with technology woefully outclasses the skill set she's most confident about.
Right, yeah.
Eventually, she'll defeat him using some techniques that we'll get to in a bit, but it's important that she gets her... I was about to say legs knocked out from under her. That's a bit in poor taste. It's important.
Yep. Actually, I'm going to ask that you do say that.
You get what I mean. Then we've got the Chaos. Clarion the Witch Boy.
Oh, I don't know
Clarion
this
the Witch
character.
Boy? Okay, so he's this little kid who kind of looks like he's in black and white, and he's got this orange cat. Yeah, it's me, basically. So he looks like a small child, but don't be fooled. I can see you being fooled. Quit it.
He's a small child. It's fine. He's a small child.
He is chaos incarnate, literally. Anchored to the physical plane by his familiar, a fluffy orange cat named Teakle. Clarion's a sadistic little brat who knows exactly what Brainiac's true plan is.
I thought you said he wasn't a child.
He's still a little brat.
Okay.
And he knows exactly what Brainiac's true plan is. He thinks it's fun enough for now, but he'll most likely betray the walking abacus before all is said and done. Clarion feels a kinship with this chaotic new generation of heroes, which only accentuates their shortcomings. I think that'd be fun to have a character who acts like a kid and sees like how fucked up and disjointed this team is.
I see another parallel.
Okay. Interesting.
We've got Billy Batson on the League, and we got this little bitch boy, witch boy, chaos boy.
Bitch boy, witch boy.
We got two boys.
I want a tattoo that says "Bitch Boy, Witch Boy." There are two boys here, and I think Clarion. I've never even seen really Clarion and Shazam interact, but I think that they would bounce in a very fun way off of each other.
Yeah.
So then we've got one that I think you'll like, the Fool, Maxi Zeus.
Okay.
So do you know Maxi Zeus?
I don't know Maxi Zeus.
Okay. So Maxi Zeus is traditionally a Batman villain. He has a Batman the Animated Series episode about him.
Oh, maybe I do.
So I think if you do, this will jog your memory. And I'm adding something new to his character here.
It's being dredged up from my memories from like 2009.
He's one of the least memorable Batman villains in existence.
Okay.
But so while he was wandering the mortal plane, Clarion came across Maxi Zeus in Gotham. Maxi is a totally unremarkable human being, aside from the fact that he wholeheartedly believes himself to be the real Zeus, king of the gods.
Yep, I do. Yes, now I do.
He often thinks Batman is Hades. That's kind of his whole deal. So Clarion saw the potential for a good laugh and imbued this guy with actual magical powers.
Oh, that's
giving
so
him
much
enhanced
fun.
speed, strength, durability, and the ability to throw lightning bolts.
I love this.
So he's given this guy the power of the gods.
Right.
And I think it'll be really fun because Maxi Zeus is going to confuse the shit out of Shazam,
yes.
who is pretty sure he knows what Zeus looks like,
and it's not,
but can't be 100% positive.
Right? Yeah, that's really good. I love that.
I think also a fun way to confuse Maxi Zeus would be that the Z in Shazam stands for Zeus. So that's he's been gifted powers by Zeus. So I don't know. I think that'd be a fun interaction.
You get.
Why are you mad at me? You gave me the stuff.
Wait, you let me do this.
You gave me the stuff you gave me.
Why are you trying to fight me?
Then we've got another lightning-based character. We've got the shock jock, Livewire.
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern himself. So Howard Stern's a sarcastic, fast-moving... I just replace every time I say Livewire with Howard Stern. So Livewire's a sarcastic, fast-moving crook who's here for a paycheck and a fun weekend.
I'm still not sure that you're not talking about Howard Stern.
So far, pretty much the same. She thinks Maxi Zeus is a joke and wants to show these clowns what a real lightning bolt can do. She'll be a fun opponent for Static.
And a real lightning bolt, too.
Not all that much, really. Yeah. But what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
Same thing as everything else.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's true.
Karen, do you have an opinion on that? Karen doesn't have an opinion on that one.
So, so I think she'll be a fun opponent for Static specifically, because I think there could be a moment where he tries to drain the lightning that she's firing, but she's living energy, so she just appears to him and uses that to charge herself up, because she can not only match his abilities, but she drains energy.
Yeah. So
I think that could get the edge on him. Also, just the fact that she's way more experienced with this stuff than he is, and he can needle him for being so inexperienced and, green. Speaking of needling, Scarecrow, the needler.
Oh, excellent.
So Scarecrow's fear toxin is going to do a number on the League, almost all of whom are being consumed by their fears already. Batgirl and Static fear they're not good enough. Supergirl thinks she'll fail her friends. Killer Croc fears he really is nothing but an inhuman killer. And Jessica, well, Jessica's been here before. There is no fear toxin on Earth that can compare to the torment her own mind used to put her through when she was at her lowest. Even still puts her through every now and then. But she's learned not to let it control her. She'll get doused with the toxin, smile, then knock Scarecrow's lights out.
Very fun. I like that.
And then our last two members of this team here. One of them, I hesitate to call him a member of the team. He is the uninvited Bat-Zaro. Do you know Bat-Zaro?
I do know Bat-Zaro.
So the Bizarro version of Batman
Right.
isn't just an idiot. He is a being whose brain works in exactly the opposite manner to Batman's.
Right.
So Brainiac hypothesized that reverse engineering Bat-Zaro's thought process might prove useful. So he stuck him in an incredible thought decoding machine that short-circuited 0.3 seconds after initialization, so he tossed him in a stasis field on his ship and pretty much forgot about him. He'll show up again later.
Yes.
Honestly, Bat-Zaro could end up being on the good guy's side. I'm genuinely not sure.
Right, but that's a lot of
but
fun.
I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
And he's only ever shown up like 2 or 3 times.
I
like,
love that
total.
Brainiac's like, if we take the reverse Batman and reverse him,
We can
perhaps
get
we'll
Batman.
get Batman.
Yeah, exactly. And then it just explodes his machines.
God damn it. I'm just imagining Brainiac like down the halls of his ship.
Exactly. So then we've got our last member of the new Legion of Doom, the warrior, Feora.
Oh,
Remember her from
yes.
Man of Steel?
Oh, yeah. Hell
she
yeah.
had that weird sexual tension with
Christopher
Elliot
Maloney,
Stabler.
with Elliot Stabler. Man, we're full circle today.
So Brainiac needed a Kryptonian to counter Supergirl. Zod's too difficult to control, Non's a fool, leaves Feora.
Yep.
A violent Kryptonian extremist, Feora hates Brainiac, but she hates Superman's adopted home even more.
You know what? I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it.
Say what? Say what?
Continue.
Okay, that's a time bomb that's just ticking down now. So she hates Brainiac, but hates Superman's adopted home even more. She'll help him destroy it, then turn her vengeance upon him for the murder of Krypton.
Feora's hot.
Okay, that's where the time bomb exploded.
I have a thing for Feora. I just got to tell you that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you've kind of
It's
aired that here. In
She's
this
scary.
Form. Okay, so so Feora.
I'm gonna cut that out.
Are you? I'm going to keep referencing it so that you can't. Feora is basically the ideological opposite of Supergirl. A jaded killer who doesn't trust anyone but herself. A battle between them determines whose ideology is right, but Supergirl isn't alone. Supergirl's not going to get a ton of play in this, but I like her to have some kind of ideological opposite that she can have an interesting fight
I like
with.
her undying belief in Barbara.
Yeah. That's
Also,
her main
that's a lot
kind
of
of
fun.
purpose here, is that she absolutely believes that Batgirl is the right person to lead the League even when the originals are here.
Now, did Superman appoint her?
An interesting question.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Okay.
Then we've got... So I went through kind of some of the major points of what I want to hit with this story. The first is the big loss. The midpoint of this story will feature a massive loss at the hands of Brainiac.
Right.
Batgirl has deduced that in order to start digitizing anything, Brainiac will need to access his ship, that big skull one from the comics and the animated series, which contains within itself a replication engine and a powerful digitization weapon. I got that first try. Digitization?
That was nice.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. The ship was confiscated after his last defeat and stored at Star Labs. They'll head there.
God, they're always keeping shit at Star Labs.
It's always right in the middle of the city.
They just need to get rid of
right
it.
there at Star.
They just need to get rid of it.
But they want to poke it.
I
Wouldn't
get,
you
I
want to
get
poke it? Big
get,
skull ship?
Look, I get wanting to poke it.
Yeah.
God, I would want to poke it.
We'd all want to poke it. They'll head there. They'll head to Star to take him on and find him already in the process of reinitializing the vessel. The battle will take place as the ship is coming online, beginning to rise up into the air.
Do we get to see any tiny cities inside?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Let's just say we do. Maybe that's where they find Bat-Zaro. I don't know. Or that can be an arena for the fight where maybe something that the heroes have to also deal with is trying to keep the cities from getting destroyed while
That's
they're fighting.
fun. Yeah.
I think that'd be a fun gimmick for an action sequence. But it's all while the ship is initializing and rising higher and higher, breaking through the ceiling, all that. So Batgirl's going to try to hack into the ship and shut it down, but be easily defeated by Brainiac. I think he'll even take control of her stuff and use it against them. Fate won't listen to Batgirl's orders to hold back and will get himself captured in a chaos magic imbued stasis field and be taken off the board almost immediately. This will spur Static to break formation and attempt to rescue him, which will backfire and get Jessica captured when she has to save his life. Croc will lose control due to Scarecrow's fear toxin and enter a berserker rage, but hesitate just before he would have killed Scarecrow. Lastly, Supergirl will make an opening for the team to escape,
Can I pitch you something?
Yes.
The thing that stops him from killing Scarecrow is Billy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And that could even prevent him from helping with something else. Like, because he has to kind of leap in the way. I like that a lot. So lastly, Supergirl will make an opening for the team to escape, allowing herself to be captured in the process as the Skull ship takes off into the atmosphere.
Okay.
So now Batgirl, Static, Shazam, and Croc are all that remains of the team.
Gotcha.
Totally demoralized, each feeling responsible for their defeat, the capture of their friends, and Brainiac now possessing the ship and the digitization weapon. I just nailed that again.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Oh, and they'll also find Bat-Zaro during this fight at some point. I don't really know when, but he'll just like somehow get away and follow them back to the Hall of Justice, and he's just like there while they're all in like deep depression. Bat-Zaro is just like, "Hello, does anyone have a justice for me to do?"
Who are you? A ghost. We'll get to you later.
Yeah, I just like the idea of like, Bat-Zaro thinks you did a great job. And everybody thinks for a second, like, wait a minute. So then, of course, after the darkest moment, the all is lost moment,
right?
We've got the rally. They don't go to it. They rally as a group. It's fine. So when they get back to the hall, Croc is going to immediately leave the others to be alone. He's going to walk away. Everything about him has been confirmed. He's going away. Billy is going to follow, and they're going to have a moment. Billy's going to sit down next to him, talk about the fact that just because he got like scared and lost control, that doesn't mean he's a monster. It means he's human. He talks about how becoming a better person doesn't happen overnight, that he still believes in him, and that as long as he keeps trying, that will be enough. Croc asks if this is the kid or the god talking, and Billy responds with, "How about the friend?" and puts a hand on his shoulder.
I like it.
This draws a smile from Croc. I think it's corny, but the right kind of corny.
Yeah.
It's Billy corny.
Yeah. We're talking about Shazam here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Batgirl is going to talk to Static. He'll apologize for ruining everything, which will confuse Batgirl. It wasn't his fault that everything went wrong. It was hers.
Right.
Static will be confused. No, it wasn't your fault. Fate just didn't listen to you. I was the one who flew in like an idiot because I had something to prove and got Jessica captured.
It's really Dr. Fate's fault.
It's really Fate's fault when you think about it. They'll trade back and forth like this, each one trying to convince the other that it was their fault that they failed.
Right.
Now,
and then who's the idiot that appointed Dr. Fate, though? That's my question.
Think about it. There's an answer. But then there will be a pause. Like, so they'll be going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on this. And like, no, listen, it's my fault. And then there'll be a pause, and they'll both break out laughing. Like, wow, so that's what I sound like.
Right.
Then Batgirl can be like, something like, Virgil, listen, what you did was monumentally stupid, but it was also really brave. Rushing in to save someone when it looks like it's all over sounds like something a superhero would do. This will get through to Static a bit. Batgirl can also bring up the fact that she used to be exactly where Static was, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
She was trying to do too much, constantly trying to prove herself, and the moment she became a better hero was the moment that she stopped fighting to prove herself and started fighting for herself. And then she can kind of react to her own advice, like, shit, that's exactly what I've been doing ever since I signed on to this team. It's like I'm trying to impress Batman all over again. And Static can, if she says that out loud, Static can even react like, that sounds like a tough crowd, and she's like, tell me about it. Then Static can be like, well, I thought you were pretty heroic out there too. I mean, going toe-to-toe with Brainiac? That guy fights Superman. Like, come on. And Batgirl can go, yeah, I might have been a bit underpowered for that one. And then she'll pause. And then Static's like, what? And Batgirl knows what Brainiac's doing. Then we've got the plan, baby.
The plan, baby. Give me that plan.
Brainiac plans to digitize the entire planet in one fell swoop, but the weapon on his ship isn't nearly powerful enough. So he's flown it into orbit, where he's using his replication technology to build a massive space station around the ship, with an enhanced cannon powerful enough to do the job in one fully charged blast. he's also using the watchtower, cannibalizing it into his structure. So it's like part watchtower, part skull ship.
Yeah, that's fun.
Full space station. Think the Death Star, but a giant skull.
Yeah, so cooler.
So cooler than the Death Star.
This will be better than the 2 boats.
So Batgirl uses the world satellite network to find the station. It's cloaked, but she's able to look for the absence of information in order to find it. By the way, when Billy and Croc come back into the hall, Batgirl will smile at Croc's recommitment and comment that she knew she was right to recommend him to Batman. And Croc reacts. He thought she didn't trust him, but it turns out she was the one who suggested that he be given a chance. I think that's a nice little reveal that the person who he thought, this team leader who he thought would never accept him, a Batman hero who he's probably faced off against like hundreds of times, thought there was some good in him. So anyway, they've found Brainiac's space station, but the rest of the team's like, okay, cool, but how do we get up to space? We wrecked the Javelin in the last fight, and all our guys who can get up there have been captured.
Yep.
To which Batgirl can reply, I think I have an idea. Cut to a terrified Killer Croc sitting with an overjoyed Billy Batson in the back seats of the Bat Rocket.
Oh, fun.
Killer Croc will say something along the lines of, Batman is fucking crazy. To which Batgirl in the pilot seat will reply, oh, you have no idea.
So are we doing anything with the captured people, or are they just kind of off the chessboard?
Right. Okay. So I do have a thought for this. I'm not. It might make Fate too much of a villain, but here's my thought. So while Fate, Jessica, and Kara are imprisoned on I'm just gonna call it the Skull Station because
right,
I like it.
I like it too.
But while they're imprisoned on the Skull Station, Clarion is going to engineer a scenario behind Brainiac's back in which all 3 of them are going to be held together, which normally Brainiac would not do because that's a really dumb idea.
Right.
And none of them are going to be strong enough to escape on their own. Like Supergirl's just going to be like bashing at the wall and it's just not doing anything. So none of them are strong enough to escape unless Supergirl puts on the Helmet of Fate, combining their powers together, eliminating her weakness against magic, but sacrificing her like mind and body to Nabu. Right. So then Nabu in turn is going to become corrupted by this power, realizing that he now has the potential to enforce order throughout the cosmos if he's got like a super person body. It might even be more powerful than Superman. Yeah. So this is going to prevent him from allowing Kara to remove the helmet, and was probably Clarion's real plan all along. And during the climax, I think a fun way to wrap this up would be that once the rest of the team kind of gets onto the station, and we'll talk about that in a second, Batgirl is going to have to get through to Fate and convince him to free Kara. And like use kind of I thought of one frame of logic. There might be a more interesting way to do this, but a frame of logic where it's like, should the order of the universe be left in the hands of someone who is fallible? Fate doesn't consider himself fallible. Then how was he captured? That sort of thing. And if Fate gets cornered, he has to admit that he is in some small way fallible, and so he cannot allow himself to possess absolute authority, and so he has to remove the helmet.
Right.
And this would not only be the resolution to Batgirl and Fate's conflict, but it's also Supergirl's faith in Barbara being rewarded.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Hell yeah. But anyway, then we've got the finale. In the climax of the story, Batgirl is going to keep Brainiac occupied by attempting to hack into his computer systems again, requiring him to focus on fending her off. This will provide an opening for the remaining team members to sneak aboard Brainiac's space station using the Bat Rocket. Batgirl's now doing better because of course it's a stealth Bat Rocket.
Right, yeah.
You know, those things that exist. Batgirl's doing better this time around. She's using more imagination, more improvisation now that she's loosened up a bit, but Brainiac is still countering everything in her arsenal with relative ease. He's not the least bit concerned about the situation until her moves start making less sense. She's sacrificing ground unnecessarily, taking paths that lead to dead ends, even letting him into her own systems. He doesn't realize until it's too late that he isn't just facing Batgirl. She's the Trojan horse, and the virus is Bat-Zaro.
Aha!
Batgirl utilizes...
We did get to him later.
Hell yeah, we did. Batgirl utilizes Bat-Zaro's ultimately illogical mind to short-circuit Brainiac's logic center and force him out of his own systems. Genius. The cannon starts to overload as well. Everything's going to blow up. Then it's a big team battle on the exploding station that our guys, now a functioning unit, are able to win. Also, Batgirl's been hacking remotely, like she's been hacking on the station, so she gets to lead her team in the final fight. So generally the arcs. Brainiac's satellite is destroyed, bad guys get captured, Bat-Zara rides off into the sunset.
Yep.
And all is right
happens. Every DC animated movie ends with Bat-Zara riding off into the sunset.
It is required. So basically where these characters end up, Fate will develop a deep respect for Batgirl and admit in some small way that he's not always the highest moral authority.
Yes.
Static will form a little brother, big sister relationship with Babs, like I said before, and become good friends with Shazam. Supergirl will have her faith in her friends reaffirmed. Jessica will grow into a mentor role. The team, most importantly, the team will rally around Croc and accept him for who he is, making him feel like a part of something for the first time, and for the first time since childhood, he'll feel like a human being. Finally, Barbara will find confidence as a leader and reaffirm her station as one of the strongest characters in this universe, an arc that's nicely buttoned up when Batman tells her that he wasn't the one who chose her for the leadership role. When she asks who it was, he'll nod in the direction of Superman.
Love it. Brilliant.
So, now I just want to ask you...
And now she will take up the mantle of Batman.
Of Superman. No, yeah. So, now I want to ask you, who do you think recommended each of these characters? I can re-say the list of who these characters are, and I can tell you the list of who the guys are.
Yes, give me the original 7 real quick.
Okay. The original 7 are Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Jean, Flash, Batman.
Okay. So we know that Superman recommended Batgirl.
Yeah, that's off the table.
Batman recommended Killer Croc, which I love.
Thank you.
Aquaman recommended Dr. Fate.
All 3 correct so far, yes. Okay. Aquaman recommended Fate because he's a king, and he wants to make sure someone is there who will get the job done despite moral ambiguities.
Okay. Original 7, Marsh Manhunter.
Jean.
Recommended... Does Jean recommend Static Shock?
That's a good thought. No.
Okay.
Let's say you get 3 wrong guesses in total. So that's one.
I'm going to say that Barry recommended Supergirl.
Interesting. I kind of like that, but it's wrong
in
this.
Wrong. Okay.
I might like that more, but it's wrong.
I just think it's interesting that Barry, who's like, I don't know, there's just something about Barry being kind of silly. Yeah. And is like, powerful, she's powerful, you know?
Yeah,
like,
go with her. She's got strong stuff. Yeah, no, that's fair. I also like the idea, I'll take this off the table too, I also like the idea of Flash recommending Static. It's not who I have, but I think that's also a fun idea.
Wonder Woman recommended Shazam.
That's also a really good guess. I'm not even going to count that as wrong because that's very fair. but no. Let's say one more.
Okay, I get one more guess. Wonder Woman recommended Jessica Cruz.
I think you've used every combination that's not correct.
Okay.
All right, do you want to hear them?
Yeah, give it to me.
I had Wonder Woman recommending Supergirl.
Okay.
Because I think it's interesting.
I think my Flash recommending.
I think that's fair. I think that is better. But my thought process for Wonder Woman and Supergirl is that Superman is too protective of Supergirl to recommend her. Mm-hmm. But I think Wonder Woman would be like, she's ready.
Yeah.
Stop being an idiot.
Yeah.
She'll be
that makes
on
sense.
The team.
Yeah, I like that.
Then we've got for Shazam, Jean. Because, and here's my thought process there. I think that Jean, more than any other character in the league is his family.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have another family outside of it. And so I think that his thought process would be, I know that Aquaman's going to recommend Fate. I know that there's going to be characters here that are going to push things in a weird direction. I want to make sure that we have a moral center.
Yeah.
Who's going to keep the league what it should be.
I think that's kind of why I said Static.
Yeah. No, and I think you were 100% right there.
Yeah.
I think Billy's just the most like pure kind of ideal of what, heroism is supposed to be. Then I had Flash for Jessica Cruz, and this isn't something you necessarily know. They've kind of had a will they won't they thing recently, so I think that's fun.
Yeah.
And then that leaves Static with Hal, which I don't really have a justification for, except that Hal's friends with John and John's friends with Static.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But
mutual friends.
But I think you made some good points. I think that I really like Supergirl and Flash.
Yes.
I think that's really fun. And that's my Justice League story, Justice League Ascension. Real quick, what do you think would be a fun villain for them to face next time if this team comes back?
Ooh. Kill him, Brian, with that good question.
I have one thought.
The thing is Brainiac is so big.
Yeah, it's hard to scale up from there.
Right. What if we have Black Adam just going wild and they have to go deal with Black Adam?
That would be fun. I like the idea of Billy asking for help from his new Justice friends.
Yeah.
His new super
friends. Yeah.
That's
It's
fun.
like starts out as Justice Shazam story.
Yeah,
and then he's like, I'm a little bit. I need some help.
I think it'd be fun if this team wasn't a like defined like this is the like Ascension team, right. like the Justice League Dark or the Justice League Odyssey guys.
Right.
But if this was just like a friend group that like helped each other out sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to do a Raish story.
That could be interesting. Gosh, okay, that's that's just like like the complete opposite.
Yeah, like go a full different kind of
story. Go the other way. Yeah. No, I like that a lot.
And I think the characters kind of work well for that sort of thing. I think Killer Croc would be way out of his elements.
Yeah.
I think Static versus someone who's so controlled and deadly would be really scary. Like a Static versus Raish fight would be fucking terrifying. And of course the whole Batgirl going up against. And if Bat-Zaro becomes a member of this team, Bat-Zaro versus Raish,
that's hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
and those characters have never met, I don't think.
Can you imagine the conversation? What that would look like?
Like just like Raish could even be terrified at first, like Bat-Zaro's silhouetted by the sun, and Raish is like, "No, the detective." And then Bat-Zaro's just like, "Hello, it's me." He just starts firing guns at him.
Just KG Beast.
It's just KG Beast.
That's all they just have to fight KG Beast.
Everybody gets a turn to fight KG Beast. That's pretty good. Let's go out on that one, I'd say.
Everyone gets a turn to fight KG Beast.
I would be really interested to hear anybody who's watched this video and gotten through to the end. I'd be really interested to hear who your villain would be that you pair up against this team.
Put that in the comments. Who would your villain against?
I think that'd be really fun.
Against our fun second string Justice League.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy Justicing.
Happy Justicing, one and all.